Monkeypox, everything you need to know. Imagine waking up with strange bumps all over your body, your skin burns, you're running a fever, and you have no idea what's wrong. This isn't a scene from a horror movie, it's the reality for thousands of people who've caught monkeypox. Today we're looking into this virus that's been making headlines, along with some actionable steps to help prevent you from contracting it. What is monkeypox?
This morning, the World Health Organization declaring MPox, the virus formerly known as monkeypox, a public health emergency of international concern.
So what exactly is this disease, and should you be worried? Let's find out. Monkeypox isn't new, but it's been causing quite a stir lately.
The version of MPox now circulating in more than a dozen countries on the continent.
First things first, despite its name, you can't get it from monkeys. Scientists discovered it in lab monkeys back in 1958, hence the name. But here's the kicker, it mostly spreads from rodents to humans. This virus belongs to the same family as smallpox, but don't freak out. While it's similar, it's much less severe. Think of it as smallpox's less troublesome cousin. Monkeypox is caused by a virus called the Monkeypox virus. It's part of a group of viruses known as orthopox viruses. This group includes the virus that caused smallpox, which was wiped out worldwide in 1980.
Back then, the majority of people infected were gay and bisexual men. But according to the World Health Organization,
monkeypox mainly occurs in Central and West Africa. Countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Cameroon, and Nigeria have dealt with it for years, but recently it's been popping up in places it's never been before, like Europe and North America.
Far more severe than what the U.S. saw in 2022.
This has got scientists scratching their heads and health officials on high alert. How do you get it? Now, you might be wondering, how does this thing spread? Well, it's not as easy to catch as a cold. You typically need close contact with an infected animal or person. We're talking about touching their rash, scabs, or body fluids. It can also spread through respiratory droplets, but you'd need to be up close and personal for a while. Some ways people catch it include handling infected animals, getting scratched or bitten by an infected animal, eating undercooked meat from an infected animal, close contact with an infected person's skin lesions or body fluids.
MPox typically spreads with close skin-to-skin contact. It presents with symptoms like a blister-like rash, fever, muscle aches, and fatigue.
But here's some good news. It doesn't spread easily between people. You're not likely to catch it from a casual chat or walking past someone on the street. Let's break it down a bit more. In Africa, many cases come from contact with infected animals. Rodents like rats and squirrels can carry the virus. People might get it from handling these animals, especially if they're hunting or preparing them for food.
They account for over 70% of cases and 85% of deaths.
Human-to-human spread is a bit different. It usually happens through close, prolonged contact. This could be caring for someone with monkeypox, sharing bedding, or towels with an infected person. Sexual contact with someone who has monkeypox. It's important to note that monkeypox isn't considered a sexually transmitted disease, but close skin-to-skin contact during sex can spread it. Signs and symptoms. So what does monkeypox look like? The first signs usually show up 7 to 14 days after exposure, but it can take as little as 5 days or as long as 21 days. This period when the virus is in your body but you don't have symptoms is called the incubation period. Early symptoms are pretty general. You might think you're coming down with the flu. Fever, headache, muscle aches, exhaustion, swollen lymph nodes. But then, 1 to 3 days after the fever starts, things get interesting. A rash appears. It often starts on the face and then spreads to other parts of the body. This rash goes through several stages. 1. Flat, red spots. 2. Raised bumps. 3. Blisters filled with clear fluid. 4. Pustules filled with yellowish fluid. 5. Scabs that eventually fall off. The whole process, from infection to healing, usually takes 2 to 4 weeks. Let's dive a bit deeper into these symptoms. Fever. This isn't just a slight temperature rise. We're talking about a fever that can reach 101 degrees Fahrenheit, 38.3 degrees Celsius, or higher. It's your body's way of fighting the virus. Swollen lymph nodes. This is actually a key difference between monkeypox and smallpox. In smallpox, lymph nodes don't typically swell up. The rash. This is the most noticeable sign of monkeypox. It doesn't just appear anywhere. It often follows a pattern. Starts on the face, spreads to the arms and legs, can appear on the palms of hands and soles of feet. Might show up inside the mouth, on genitals, or around the eyes. Each spot goes through all the stages we mentioned earlier. But here's the thing, not all spots will be at the same stage at the same time. You might have some spots that are just starting, while others are already scabbing over. One important note, you're contagious from the time symptoms start until all the scabs have fallen off and new skin has formed. This is why isolation is so important if you think you might have monkeypox. Diagnosis. Now you might be thinking, how do doctors know it's monkeypox and not something else? Good question. Diagnosing monkeypox can be tricky because it looks like other rash illnesses. Doctors will look at your symptoms and ask about your history. Have you traveled to areas where monkeypox is common? Have you been in contact with animals or people who might have had it? But to be sure, they need to run tests. The most common is a PCR test. They take a sample from one of your skin lesions and test it for the monkeypox virus DNA. It's similar to how they test for COVID-19.
Viruses will continue to evolve. We saw this with COVID, and now with MPox, we see new versions of the virus that become more transmissible.
They're looking for a different virus. Here's how the testing process typically goes. 1. The doctor will take a swab of fluid from one of your skin lesions. 2. They might also take a blood sample to check for antibodies. 3. These samples are sent to a specialized lab. 4. The lab uses PCR, polymerase chain reaction, to look for monkeypox virus DNA. 5. Results usually come back within a few days. While waiting for results, you'll likely be asked to isolate. This is to prevent potentially spreading the virus to others. It's worth noting that monkeypox can look like other diseases, such as chickenpox, measles, scabies. Some sexually transmitted infections. This is why proper testing is so important. You don't want to mistake monkeypox for something else, or vice versa. Treatment. Alright, so what if you do get monkeypox? How is it treated? Well, most cases are mild and get better on their own. Treatment is mainly about managing symptoms. Rest. Your body needs energy to fight the virus. Staying hydrated. Drink plenty of fluids to help your body function best. Using over-the-counter pain relievers for aches and pains. Acetaminophen or ibuprofen can help with fever and discomfort. Keeping the rash clean and dry. This helps prevent secondary bacterial infections. For severe cases, there are antiviral drugs. These were developed for smallpox, but work on monkeypox too. The most common ones are tecovirimat, TPOXX. This drug stops the virus from spreading in your body. Brincidofovir, Tembexa. This interferes with virus replication. But here's the thing, these drugs are usually reserved for people at high risk of severe disease. We're talking about people with weakened immune systems, children under 8, pregnant or breastfeeding women, and people with certain skin conditions. In some cases, doctors might use something called vaccinia immune globulin, VIG. This is a treatment made from the antibodies of people who've received the smallpox vaccine. It can help boost your immune system to fight the virus. Remember, antibiotics don't work against monkeypox because it's a virus, not a bacteria. But if you develop a bacterial infection in your skin from scratching, you might need antibiotics for that. Prevention. Now, let's talk about how to avoid getting monkeypox in the first place. The best defense is a good offense. Avoid contact with animals that could be infected, especially in areas where monkeypox is common. Don't touch or share bedding with someone who has monkeypox. Wash your hands often with soap and water. Cook all meat thoroughly. There's also a vaccine. It was developed for smallpox, but it works against monkeypox too. However, it's not available to everyone. It's usually given to people who've been exposed or are at high risk. Let's break down these prevention methods a bit more. Animal contact. In areas where monkeypox is common, avoid contact with rodents and primates. Don't touch sick or dead animals, especially if they're in areas known for monkeypox. Personal hygiene. Washing your hands frequently is key. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. This helps kill the virus if you've touched contaminated surfaces. Isolation. If someone you know has monkeypox, they should isolate until all their scabs have fallen off. Don't share items like towels, bedding, or clothing with them. Vaccines. There are 2 types of vaccines that can help prevent monkeypox. 1. Jynneos. This is a newer vaccine that's safe for most people. 2. ACAM 2000. This is an older smallpox vaccine. It can have more side effects and isn't safe for everyone. These vaccines can be given before exposure to prevent infection. They can also be given after exposure to reduce the severity of the disease, but they need to be given within 4 days of exposure to be most effective. Healthcare workers and lab staff who might come into contact with monkeypox should consider getting vaccinated. Prognosis. So what's the outlook if you catch monkeypox? Generally, it's pretty good. Most people recover completely within a few weeks. The disease is rarely fatal, with a death rate of less than 1% in most outbreaks. But like any disease, some people are at higher risk of severe illness. Young children.
According to the World Health Organization, those most at risk today are under 15.
Pregnant women. People with weakened immune systems. These groups might need more intensive care and monitoring. Here's a breakdown of what recovery typically looks like. Week 1 to 2, symptoms appear and progress. Week 2 to 3, rash starts to heal. Week 3 to 4, scabs fall off and new skin forms. Most people feel better within 2 to 4 weeks, but it's important to know that you're contagious until all scabs have fallen off and new skin has formed. Long-term effects are rare, but some people might have scars from the rash. In very rare cases, monkeypox can lead to complications like pneumonia or eye infections. The good news is that once you've had monkeypox, you develop immunity to it. This means you're unlikely to get it again. So there you have it, everything you need to know about monkeypox, from its origins to how it spreads, from symptoms to treatment. We've covered a lot of ground, but here's something to think about. With diseases like this popping up more often, what's next? Are we prepared for the next outbreak? And more importantly, how can we prevent these diseases from spreading in the first place? The answers might surprise you. As we've seen with monkeypox, many of these emerging diseases come from animals. This connection between animal health, human health, and our environment is part of what scientists call the One Health approach. It suggests that keeping our ecosystems healthy can help prevent future outbreaks. Until then, stay healthy, stay informed, and keep asking questions. The more we understand about these diseases, the better equipped we'll be to face whatever comes next. Let us know if you want to watch more of this video in the comment section below, and if you want to watch more about health and wellness, make sure to check out the next videos shown on screen.